What's up, you guys? UFO Poop here. Well, I just want to say thank you guys so much because I just hit 7,000 subscribers. You guys fucking rock, man. And, well, for all my new subscribers, normally in this situation, I would have the dancing girls come out. But ever since YouTube cut our ad revenue, well, I have to resort to more affordable options. So let's bring them on.
Today we're going to be discussing Petra. Petra is a archaeological site in the middle of the Kingdom of Jordan, which is between Israel, Iran, Iraq, Lebanon, Egypt, in this general area. And it's an enigmatic site. It comes out completely out of nowhere, and it's hidden among these giant rocks or rocky mountains, so to speak, more like redstone mountains, in the middle of nowhere. And the interesting thing about this is that this city is carved directly out of the solid sandstone that exists there. So let's take a look right here. Now this is the treasury. This is a real famous piece in Petra, and in fact anyone who watches Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade will recognize this exact place. Now one of the things they discuss are these square holes that are on the side of the treasury right there. On each side of it you see the square little holes poked all in it. At first they thought that these were for scaffolding or something like that, and then another guy came through and said he thought it was for another form of scaffolding. It was where they had pegs built out from it and stuff. And however, none of these things would actually work and hold for scaffolding. The holes aren't deep enough for it. But I think it's really cool how you can see the tool marks on it. And but what's interesting is that this isn't the only place where you find these notches. Now, and when we look at Baalbek, Lebanon, another amazing enigmatic place, on their giant megalithic stones, you see the same exact notches carved into it. But this isn't the only place. Also, in the Western Wall in Israel, their giant stone that they're so proud of shows the exact same notches cut into it. So unless you needed those giant stones to have scaffolding themselves, I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense. Now look at the size of the Herodian style of architecture around the giant megalithic stones, and how the trilithon here at Baalbek contains the Herodian stones above and below it. Now look at the column here. Look at its ornate design and everything. All right, carved right into the solid sandstone. And then look at the columns at Baalbek. A very ornate design that, I mean, they're very reminiscent of each other, I believe. Now, these fucks here, you got fucking Curly and Mo and fucking Grandpa Munster. They decide they're going to try to recreate Petra. So they're going to, but they had to use sandstone out in California, which is a lot weaker. Well, so these guys, they get together, they plan everything out, and they plan out the design, the most common design that they see in Petra, and then they're going to make a little facade of it. All right. However, as soon as these guys started, it became clear that they could not do it by hand because they were trying to. These guys are both master stonemasons. So this is what they've been doing their whole life. And they said, we cannot do this by hand. So we have to have power tools. So with that and their power tools, they went to work on this thing. And it took them 2 months to carve out just the front face facade like you would see at Petra, and at like an eighth the actual size. It took them 2 months using power tools, which I find absolutely incredible. But something I find even more incredible than that is that archaeologists claim that these are in fact tombs, that everything here in Petra is nothing more than a tomb. That's it. Yep. This entire city is just a necropolis. It's a city of the dead. That's all it is. They're all tombs. All right? Which doesn't make the slightest bit of fucking sense to me. But let me explain to you why I believe these are not tombs. All right? First of all, there's never been a body found inside. Second of all, you see these hollows. This is why they say some of them are tombs, because of these hollows. They're like, yeah, this is where they had put the body. Well, you just shove a body up in there, huh? It needs all that space. You got to carve out 10 feet high for a fucking body that's just laying down, right? Because that makes total sense. Duh. I mean, that's what we do, right? I mean, come on, people. Just think about it. I mean, do these look like they're fucking... There's one place. Now, in the treasury, it does have notches that look like they could fit a body that would be like the size of a body. But all the other tombs, they have hollows and stuff in them that are so big, you could fit 20 bodies in one. It doesn't make any sense. And then not only that, Petra doesn't contain any doors. There are no doors in Petra. These things were open to the public. So is that how you want to bury yourself? Is in a place with an open door where any animal could just come in and scavenge your body, huh? That's how you do it. That's how you take care of yourself after you die, right? And not only do I think they're wrong about that, I think they're also wrong about their construction method, because they're saying that these were pounded out with iron tools and stuff, which, you know, would make sense, all right? But they say that these are carved from the top down. All right, that all these buildings are carved from the top down. This is how it's done, but the evidence clearly shows that to be wrong, and I'll get to that in a minute. But I just want to point out, if you look down at the bottom here, doesn't that kind of look like a UFO? I'm just saying. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I'm not saying anything that it has anything to do with anything, but that's fucking cool. Just throwing that out there. Anyway. And notice how the pyramids up on top of this rock face are right here. They're almost obelisk-like. In fact, they remind me of the pyramids in southern Africa. And now what's interesting is that the people they say who built this were the Nabateans. The Nabateans were a nomadic tribe of Arabs. They were tent dwellers. Okay, they moved around, nomadic. Okay, they moved around and they lived in tents. Yet they built this incredible, impossible city out of solid stone, and for their dead, but they themselves lived in tents. But not only that, they obviously must not have given two shits about their dead, considering that they built their tombs with no fucking doors. All right, they're like, oh yeah, I mean, Grandpa's dead, but let's just put his body right here where a fucking coyote can come in and eat it, and you know, who gives a shit after he's fucking dead anyway? But let's go ahead and carve him this badass fucking monument that's gonna take us 1,000 men for 20 fucking years. Cause that makes sense, right? I mean, duh. Now, this is what I'm talking about, how this is like proof that they did not build these from the top down. Because if you look at the top here at the treasury, you can see that these are unfinished obelisks, like we just saw on the last photo. They're unfinished. They still need to be carved out. And they would have been carved into obelisks on top of this one. So that proves that they were not carved from the top down. Now, one thing that really sticks out, and I think is really interesting, and just so a note for everybody, Petra is only 2% of Petra is excavated. So everything you see here is only 2% of Petra. The total of Petra is monumental, but it's all buried. And they have no way of digging it all out because of the position of where Petra is. They don't have the water or the resources to excavate it. I mean, this is how inhospitable this place is. But yeah, I mean, it just keeps going and going down, 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 underground, and that's just how it is. And 2% of it is excavated. Yet they can go ahead and make all these claims with only having 2% of the city excavated and say, yeah, this is what it is. I mean, you know, if you had 2% of any answer, is that enough to give you a fucking solid answer? I'm just saying. Look at the size of that fucking door, dude. Who needs a door 50 feet tall? Look at that little dude. Get the fuck off of there, you dipshit, before you fall and fucking break your neck. God, this stupid ass. Anyway, so yeah, I think that not only are they wrong about that, but they're wrong about a number of different things and theories when it comes to Petra and its relationship to other places. And I'm not just talking just places nearby, but I'm talking places around the world. Now look at this. Look at off to the side. It even looks like they were going to carve a vulture or a condor or something like that. Some kind of one of those birds. I don't know if you guys can see it. Maybe it's just pareidolia or some shit. I don't fucking know. But I'm just going to throw that out there that it looked kind of like that to me. I'm probably wrong though. But I'm just throwing that out there. Also, off to the side, it does look like hieroglyphs may have been gouged out to erase whoever wrote something there. So but I think that's interesting. But there again, that's just maybe it's pareidolia. I have no idea. But I do want to point out that I think that Petra has connections to other places. At least by design, somehow they have some kind of relation to each other, maybe. And that is with Peru. Now, as fanciful as that sounds and ridiculous as that sounds, there does seem to be some evidence showing that there is some kind of relationship between the designers of Petra and the designers of places in Peru, like Sacsayhuaman, Ollantaytambo, Machu Picchu, places like that. And when you look at like the tombs for all the dead in Petra, one thing really stands out, and that is the roof design is exactly what you see in the Andean cross in Peru. That same design is in Peru everywhere. Now, this is different pics of the Andean cross, and you can find this all over, you know, really Peru, South America, Bolivia, stuff like that. And you find this exact same design all over in Peru as well. So I mean, I think it's just interesting because not only that, but also how the Peruvians were able to manipulate and move gigantic pieces of stone and stuff like that. Although it doesn't seem that the Petra could actually move them as so much as chop them down. This is in Pumapunku, in Tiwanaku in Bolivia, and you see the same exact design as you see in Petra all over the place. And then this too is in Peru. And I mean, like, it's fascinating how many different places have this same design in South America and in Jordan. So could the designers have somehow communicated with each other somehow. Look at this. This is also this is by Otole Tombo. I mean, isn't that crazy? And these are giant, massive stones that they would cover these up, and they're reliefs. They're like boss reliefs, just like the people did at Petra, whoever they were. I don't believe it was the Nabateans. Right here, look at the gate of the gate of the sun. These giant stones, solid granite, lifted from one side of a mountain, tucking all the way down across the valley, across the river, and then up the other side of a mountain. 50-ton stones, slabs of solid red granite. And if you look at the middle one, you can actually see the bas relief of the Andean cross. So is there some kind of connection? I mean, I fucking doubt it, but hell, I'm just saying, I find it interesting that they have these same designs there. They both are, manipulating massive pieces of stone, and no one really seems to know who actually built either one of them. Ah, fuck it, let's say aliens. Alright, you guys, UFO proof out.
What's up, you guys? UFO Proof here. Well, I just want to say thank you guys so much because I just hit 7,000 subscribers. You guys fucking rock, man. And, well, for all my new subscribers, normally in this situation, I would have the dancing girls come out. But ever since YouTube cut our ad revenue, well, I have to resort to more affordable options. So let's bring them on.
Today we're going to be discussing Petra. Petra is a archaeological site in the middle of the Kingdom of Jordan, which is between Israel, Iran, Iraq, Lebanon, Egypt, in this general area. And it's an enigmatic site. It comes out completely out of nowhere, and it's hidden among these giant rocks